gathers himself all nations, heaps himself all people, man. All right? Because he's a demon, man. All right? Esau Edom, he has to be destroyed because he's as a cancer, man. You don't let a cancer just roam and do what he wants, man. Oh no, I'll just cut off a piece of the cancer. It's just gonna grow back and become worse. See? And it says, verse 5, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, man. And that's it, man. All right? You're increasing that which is not yours, man. All right? Everything that you got is by ill-gotten gain, man. Esau didn't get anything by just being upright, up forth, and honorable, man. That's not in his spirit. It just said the soul which is lifted up inside him is not upright. So it's not based upon trying to educate him. Oh, you know, people aren't born racist, they just have to be educated. It's not a matter of educating him, because it's interwoven into his spirit. You can't change who you are. You are who you are, man. Even Koyoku said that, right? You can't. A person's true character and his true intent will always come out, man. And that's true. That's very true. All right. You can't change who he is, man. All right, because that's within his spirit. Okay, so this is why he's gonna have to face his punishment for what he's done, right? What he's done to the children of Israel, which is us. Okay, he's gonna have to face his punishment and then be exterminated, man, because there's no use for him, man. All right, there's no use for Esau Edom. The Edomites are through. The Edomites are done, man. Okay, their kingdom is done. The Edomites had their little time to rule for a bit, you know, to mess up the earth, mess up the nations. All right, create third world countries around the world. Now it's time for them to go into slavery, man. Okay, and it's time for the Gadites, the Native Americans, to get back their land, man. All right, that's what's gonna happen. All right, the Most High is gonna put these devils in slavery and give Native Americans back their get back, man, and give the so-called Negro back his get back, man. All right, that's what's gonna happen. You see? And it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him? No, Salakia, verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of men's Slakia, violence of the land, violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein, man. Because it's based upon the violence. You see, the Most High says that, right, when you got Numbers 30:35, it says that blood cannot be cleansed except by shedding the blood of him that shed it. There has to be a balance in the force, man. Okay, you can't just have all this wickedness running rampant and nothing happened for it, man. All right, someone has to pay for it, man. Like you go into a restaurant and you run up the tab to $200, you know, and then you just skate out. Of course, they're gonna be looking for you to pay that back. All right, because that's a large bill. All right, and Esau has the largest bill of all nations. Let's get Numbers 35 real quick. This is Numbers 35 and 33, and it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. You see, so blood pollutes a land. So when you slaughter a people, right, unjustly, that's blood. Okay, that's defiling the land with blood. So what we're standing on right now is nothing but a defiled land. Okay? And it said the only way to cleanse the land is what? By shedding the blood of him that shed it. That's called justice, man. All right? You see what I'm saying? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Okay? That's justice. Talking about, oh, eye for eye, everyone ends up blind, dumbass. So if nothing happens, then you're just fucking missing an eye and just walking around while he's chilling, man. Going to fucking clubs and getting bitches. Are you stupid, man? There has to be a balance in the force. There has to be a balance in the force. You think he's gonna try and take out your eye if you just lost one? Dumbass. No, man, he's gonna relax. He's gonna say, no, okay, I don't want to lose both eyes.
Oh,
That's just common sense, man. But the ideology of this world is warped because they're not dealing with the scriptures. They're dealing really mostly based upon emotions and what the Esau pushes in his media, man. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get Isaiah 60. And that's why we're here. We're here to bring that light. We're here to bring that truth and answer all the questions. Okay? Because ain't nobody else answering all these questions. Right? The brothers from Texas, they had a Jake come up, and he was shooting like 50 questions at them at once, and they were answering every question quick. Okay? Because we have the answers, man. All right? We don't deal with gray areas, man. We deal with the facts. Esau deals with gray areas. That's the king of gray areas. We deal with the definites. Okay? You know, filibustering, using all these words, but he ain't saying nothing. Okay? He's never coming to a definite answer. Okay? Ask them about evolution. Ask these random people who believe in evolution. Ask them to explain that shit to you. You're gonna give you nothing but gray areas and all over the place, man. All right? But this impossibly and this estimating, you know, approximately, you know, nothing is definite for them, man. And when you scrutinize them, they really don't know what the hell's going on. Ask them about how does carbon dating work, man? And is it an accurate science? Because that's what they determine. That's what they use to determine the age of certain stones and things like that. But that whole science is flawed in itself. You go to one person, they'll give you one answer. You go to another person, they'll give you a totally different answer. But neither of them are wrong, somehow. You know? This is Isaiah 60 and verse 1. And it says, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee," man. So the glory of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is being seen upon us right now. All right? Because we're the ones answering the questions. We're the ones breaking it down. See, the wisdom that the Most High has bestowed on us surpasses all wisdom on the planet Earth. Okay? You can have all 20 degrees and all that. All right? You have a master's degree in psychology, science. All right? Rocket science, all that. But really, that's never gonna surpass the knowledge that we have, man. Okay? Because you have all that so-called knowledge, but then if I ask you what's your nationality, you don't know. All right? If I ask you, why did we go into captivity? Why did we go into slavery? Why did the Native Americans lose their land? You don't know. You don't know the answer for that. Okay? Why is the wicked still in rulership? Why is the society so wicked? You don't know the answer for that. All right? What's gonna be the signs that it's gonna switch? Okay? Right? Like Ezra's asked, what should be the signs of the divided times? Roughly paraphrased. The beginning of the first, okay? No, the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow it. All right? This is the questions that we're answering. All right? We're answering all the questions: the who, what, where, and why. These other philosophies, these other people, they're not answering that. And it says, "For behold, darkness shall cover the whole earth, shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." So the glory of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to be seen upon us. All right? Well, it's being seen upon us now. But as we get further and closer, it's going to be seen on us more and more and more. All right? Because the times that are coming, for example, Jacob's trouble, in times like that, that's when the Most High is gonna separate the sheep from the goats. All right, the men from the boys. That's when he's gonna really separate, and that includes amongst all these Israelite groups, man, because they're not preparing the people for what's coming. I don't see them doing constant videos on Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast. Man, a lot of them don't even speak about that, period. All right, and some of them don't speak, once every 5 months they might bring it up, possibly. Not even once every, I'd say once a year, possibly. Okay? So they're not preparing the people's minds for what's about to come for Jacob's trouble. So are those people going to be prepared when it comes? Or are they going to be like deer in headlights? All right? This is Jeremiah 30, verse 7, and it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it," man. All right, so that's the time that we're coming to. We're coming to a time that is like none other, man. All right, a time that is like what's never been seen before. And if you don't have that hedge of protection from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, if you're not written in that book of life, there's no hope for you, man. There's nothing you can do. You can have all the gun stock, you can know all the martial arts, you could have 100 MMA titles, man. You could be Mike Tyson in his prime, bro, when it comes to fighting. All right, but guess what? The Most High, right? If He's not with you, you're gonna be caught out there, man. You're gonna be destroyed. All right. There's gonna be so much things coming at you, you're not gonna be able to dodge them all. Right. Right? There's gonna be, as if a man laid his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him, and he ran and a bear met him. All that scriptures speak about that. It's gonna be like there's gonna be so much turmoil and destruction going on. You're not gonna be able to escape it. Okay? You see? So you might escape from motherfuckers, the Gurkha troops or whatever those foreign military men. You might escape from that. You might be running, and you might escape from a bear. You might meet up with a grizzly bear. You might outrun that. But then you might come into a house and find out there's a bunch of fucking cannibals in there ready to kill your ass, man. So there's not going to be any escape in that time. It's going to be a very terrible time, man. Why you think we come out? You think we come out here just for fun? No, we come out here because we know and understand the terror of the Lord. And we don't want to be caught up in that sweep that the Lord is coming with, man. He's coming with a sweep of destruction. All right? For you Israelites. Specifically, I'm speaking about you Israelites. But it's really going to be for the whole planet. But specifically, you Israelites, because you're His people. All right? So the focus is going to be on you. He's going to make sure He really gets you 2/3. All right, He ain't going to be playing with you 2/3. All right, this is Daniel's 12:1, and it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was seen since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book," man. All right, so only the ones that are found written in the book are going to be delivered. Okay, every Israelite is not going to be delivered. Okay, that's why the scriptures speak about when they find a man that's going to be as a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind. That's not speaking about every man. Okay, Because the scripture also say that the men shall be as women in that day, because of the fact that there's going to be so much death and destruction going on. They're not going to know what to do. Okay? And these men in this society, especially in Western society, they don't know how to deal with adversity. Because this government has made them basically as women where they're independents. All right? Whereas men in different third world countries, they'll be able to handle it more than you. But then again, look at what's happening in Venezuela right now. Venezuela's catching all type of hell. All right? But it's going to be a lot worse. First of all, it's going to get a lot worse over there. It's going to get a lot worse over here in Canada, and it's going to get a lot worse in America. And Babylon the Great. All right? So like I said, man, this is why we do what we do. We don't do this just for fun, man. We do this because, the fear, the fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We're like, please, we just want to be, please just have mercy on me in that day. You see what I'm saying? That's our attitude. This is Isaiah 65 in verse 12, and it reads, actually verse 13, therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat. I should start at 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. All right, so the Most High said, since you didn't listen to his prophets out here pushing this word out, right? He's not speaking about when he was whispering to you in your ear, because he was never whispering in your ear. Okay? He sent his prophets out here to teach you that. You see? And it says, therefore, I'll start at verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Okay, so that's where we're at. Okay, that's what the Most High is dealing with. Okay, he's dealing with his servants. So his servants are going to eat, but you people are going to be left out there to starve. His servants are going to drink, but you're going to be left out there to die of thirst. And it doesn't seem like nothing now, because it's not here, right? It's not here yet. When it really hits, when the hand of the Lord really touches you, okay? And when I mean touch, I mean smite. You're gonna feel it, and that's when you're gonna wish and hope. And that's when all that partying, all that chilling and scoffing, and all the fun you were having, all throughout living your best life, going to the Mount Everest, going to Brazil and Cuba and all that. Whatever you did, Dubai, you were living in Dubai for a year, just having fun, living it up. All of that you're gonna forget all about that in an instant. Okay? When you go through real hard adversity, you forget about all the good times you had. Okay? They're like they never existed, in other words. You see? That's what it's gonna be. Same thing like when you it's like the same when you come into some real riches. Like when we're in the kingdom, this is gonna be like a nightmare. It's gonna be like it never happened. Okay? And it says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. All right? Because you're gonna be in such agony and such pain and such fear that you're gonna have no choice. You're just gonna be crying and wailing, man. Grown men too, man, and big muscular bodybuilding men, big MMA fighters, man. They're gonna be crying and wailing in that time. That's how serious that time is gonna be. You think when we say what we say, and we say it just because, man. Just like if it's if it's a joke, or oh, it's not gonna be that bad. You know, it's just gonna be like a rainy day. No, that thing is gonna be worse. Think about this. It's gonna be worse than any time or any event that has ever happened on the planet Earth thus far. And you can think about, you will see movies on ancient terrible times and wars and slavery, things like that. All right, when these devils stole the land from the Native Americans. All right, all these type of things. What's coming is going to be worse. Okay, what's coming is going to be a lot worse. And guess what? That's coming for the men of the Lord as well. All right, that's coming for the men of the Lord as well, because the men of the Lord are going to have to be delivered up. Some of the men of the Lord are going to be martyrs in that day. You know, so we got to get in that mind state because that could be. All right, and we just got to know it. Shit is nothing but a transition from this physical world to the spiritual realm, which is even better than this place. All right, a lot better. This is Second Ezra. This is Second Ezra 15. In verse 15, and it says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth not out slack." Actually, I'll start at verse 12. It says, "Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten." And when it's speaking about Egypt, it's not speaking about ancient Egypt. All right, speaking about America, because America is the new modern day Egypt. We're pursuing the revelation. There's a spiritual Egypt and a spiritual Sodom, which is America. Okay, but you can apply this to a city near you, because it's not just gonna be happening to America. Although that's gonna be the main place, but it's gonna be happening all over. All right, and it says, "Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation." And guess what? That's happening now, man. Those crops are failing out there in the Midwest, man. They're having all kind of floods, all right, and they're having to get payoffs and things like that, all right, in order to sustain themselves. And it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid." All right, so that's when you watch a movie like Contagion, all right, Resident Evil, certain movies like that, when there's like I Am Legend, where they kind of quarantined off certain areas. That's what's gonna happen. All right, there's gonna be a part of the city you're gonna want to go to, and that's gonna be blocked off. All right, by the army. Okay, and it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanese, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. All right? So this is, and who's the them? This is speaking about us. The Most High is going to cause that World War III to happen, right? So that, and it's all for what? The purpose of the of Yahweh Shai coming back and the deliverance of his people, man. That's that big finale, all right? And the destruction of America. And it says, like, as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also in recompense in their bosom, thus saith the Lord power. All right, so like they do unto us, okay? Like to this day, you have Jake getting shot down, Jake getting sent to prison in crazy numbers unjustly, all right? Getting framed and all type of shit, and just you know, railroading Jake. And that's basically that's all that is hardcore slavery. Prison is hardcore slavery. That's all that is, man. That's chattel slavery, straight up. You know, but they try and mask it by trying to give you a few pennies a day, man. Literally, they're giving you a few pennies a day. You're making less money than the worst third world country you can think of. All right? Talking about they survive for $1 a day. In the prison system, you survive for less than $1 a day. Okay? In certain cases, I don't know how it is for every prison, but guaranteed, it's nothing. Bro, it's nothing that a person can sustain. Even there's no prison that I would say there's no prison that will give you more than fucking $5 a day. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm talking about for hard 8 hours of work. All right, there's no prison that's going to give you more than $5 a day. Okay, and it says. And it says, and that's what I believe, man. If you brothers have any other, if you know anything of any matter of fact, I'll do the research when I get home to see how much they're actually paying Jake on maximum. All right, I'm talking about the maximum. Okay, because I'm sure it's not gonna be no more than $5, man. I guarantee. Because when I used to be in that, man, all right, like when I was younger and drinking and things like that, they were giving you pennies, man. All right, you were filling boxes, doing all types of things. They were giving you pennies at the end of the day. All right, just enough you work for 4 months, and that's just enough for you to buy a shirt, man. Straight up, that's what was going on. And it says, behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. No, Salakia. Okay, so I got that part, man. So basically, the Most High is bringing them together for war, for the purpose of Jerusalem, man, for the purpose of the Israelites. He's not bringing them together because Esau did something to Moab, right? It's not about that. It's about his chosen, and it's always been about his chosen. This is Zechariah. Let me get Zechariah 2:8 real quick. This is Zechariah 2 verse 8, and it says, for thus saith the Lord Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. And that's why he's doing that, okay? Because they touched the apple of the Most High's eye, all right? Right, which is who? The Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So when the Most High sat back and watched that whole thing play out, okay? He sat on the sidelines, he watched it pay out, and now the time we're coming into is the judgment for that. You know, just like Esau when he's looking to make a big bust on a high-profile drug dealer or somebody, he's gonna let the case build, and then one day he's just gonna come and he's just gonna kick down the door with the SWAT team and put you and lock you up. That's what the Most High did. He let the case build on him. But the case has built, but he hasn't forgotten. So the judgment is going to be great. See? And when we have the devils in slavery, man, don't even think about the word mercy. Don't even look at the word. Don't even think it. Don't even allude to it, man, in the kingdom, because there ain't going to be no mercy for the wicked. Period. right? Period. This is Revelation 18 and verse 1, and it says, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, right? And that ye receive not of her plagues, right? And what are the plagues? The plagues would be those nuclear missiles. You see, and it says, For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. You see? So the Most High let that tab build up to the heavens. Okay? And from the time they stepped foot on this land, he said, okay, they stole the land from the natives. Okay, boom. They did this. They killed off the natives, smallpox. Wrote all that shit down. Then they went and got the Israelites, the Judites. Okay, they got Judah, they got Benjamin, they got Levi. They did this, they did that. They stacked them up like sardines. All that was being recorded, man. Okay? So then there's gonna be a point where the Most High is gonna say, you know what? Let it rip. He's gonna bring that judgment, man. Okay? See, so that case has been built up all this time. So that judgment is coming up. And it says, Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill unto her double. All right? So that means Esau is going to get double what we got. All right? We got slavery, we got all that. Esau is going to get double that. All right? And it says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. They live deliciously. When you look at the neighborhoods that they live in, right? Compared to the neighborhood that the majority of Israelites live in, there's a big difference. All right? The pay gap is crazy. So they're living deliciously. They're living good. Even amongst all these other nations, when you look at first world nations, first world countries, really the only first world countries are Edomite countries. Okay? That's really, and then you'll have like Japan, and you'll have North Korea. Those are the only two out of that big long list of first world countries that are part of the first world countries, so-called. Okay, but they're still not on the level of the Edomite countries, guaranteed, because the majority of those people are not living like that. All right, so they're living differently, and it says, and it says, what was that? Revelation 18. Okay, yeah. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power that who judgeth her. Okay, and that's speaking about the nuclear missiles. Okay, because that's going to be really the force that's going to be the main instrument that's going to take Esau's society down. You see? Because what's going to happen is Russia, right, which is known as Magog and Gog in the scriptures, they're going to shoot those missiles on America, all right, along with their allies, which a lot of those allies of America right now are going to turn on America eventually. And they're starting to turn on them now. Like Turkey just did a deal with Russia, right? Which basically they sided with Russia. They said, listen, we're with Russia now. Which that's all prophecy. Okay? And we've been bringing this out for years, starting with our apostles and elders, that the allies of America, right? The NATO and the EU, they're going to turn on America, man. See what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let's get that. Because that's all prophecy, man. And Donald Trump is the perfect guy to do it because he's most hated, man. All right? He just comes in, he just says anything and pisses off the nations, right? Like with the NATO situation, he just came up and said, listen, man, you guys have to pay or you're going to get kicked out. You're not going to get no, he came and, ruffled feathers with that, So that's another that's another way that this place is gonna be hated. You know, speaking about America, let's get a see. This is Revelation 17 and verse 8, and it says, "The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition." All right, and that beast is speaking about the NATO and the EU. Okay. And they that dwell on the earth shall wander, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and is yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom, the 7 heads and the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Now the beast that was and was not, because at one time, right, at one time the Roman Empire, right, which is what NATO and the EU was, just a revision of the Roman Empire. At one time it was destroyed by Jake coming into power. All right, so that became the Holy Roman Empire. All right, but the Edomite Roman Empire was taken down, so that came back into power during the Renaissance. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said that